So good morning, everyone. It's summertime, so it's your time without boring lessons, without school, time for rest and have fun. So before starting, I would like to tell you how we will organize our work together. So at your platform, you can see 2 home tasks, yeah? So one lesson you will get each Monday and second lesson each Tuesday. For example, if you do all 2 lessons at Wednesday, there is no need to wait while I check all of them. So you can do it one by one, and then at the end, I will check each day in the evening all your lessons, and you can get your mark. So no need to wait for it as you usually do. Apart from this, we will have our webinars together. If you're here and you are able to listen to me, it means that you know how it works. You found the link to it. So each Thursday at 11:30, we will have here a new webinar. So now we will talk about the picture that you can see here on my screen. How do you make the most of your time to make sure you're working efficiently? To most of us, it seems as if there is never enough time in the day. However, we all have 44 hours in a day to accomplish our tasks. And some people are exceptionally good at it, while others struggle to meet these deadlines. So, why is that some people use their time more effective than others? The answer lies in the effective time management. So, during today's lesson, we will discuss 4 agendas, so 4 things. The first one is we will lead the discussion about the time management, and we learn some new techniques. We practice how to prioritize the task using Eisenhower box, and also you will find out more about procrastination, what it is and how can we work with it. So, before we start talking about time management, let's study the statistic that a group of French scientists has come up with on how average person spends 70 years of their life. And we will see where the time flies. So, as for statistic, in average, persons standing, sleeping about 24-23 years. So is it a lot? I think yes, 70 years, 24, we just sleep, stand. As for sitting, it's a little bit less, just 17 years, walking 16 years, working from 8 to 9, eating, seeing dreams, taking public transport, from 6 to 4 years, and taking listening conversation of others 2 years. Also, we spend on watching TV up to 6 years, and you can imagine that on laughing we spent 223 days. Cooking, having a runny nose, fluttering, we spend up to 500 days. So do you know what is fluttering? So when you speak with your boyfriend, when you look beautiful and try to catch attention of others. This is flattering. If we're talking about shopping, yeah, men hate standing at a shop, spending so much time. So I think girls definitely spend more time. And in general, it's 440 days. Being sick takes us 220 days, celebrating holidays, filling out documents, reading and talking on the phone from 375 days till 180 days. And also there is a small difference in getting dressed. Men 177 days, while women plus 2 more years. Also, we spent quite a lot of days of combing hair, 108, brushing teeth, crying, and checking time, it's 3 days. This is a statistic that is taken from the Science and Beer magazine. So, is it surprising? Was there something new? Is there the fact that surprised you? Can you type in chat? What was it? And now we will move forward and talk about time management and time management techniques. First of all, let's find out what time management is. It is the process of planning and exercising control over the amount of time spent on specific activities in order to increase productivity and effectiveness. So, to explain it better, we might understand that time management is, in simple words, the process of organizing and planning the amount of time you want to divide to share between specific activities. Effective time management, it's about spending the right time to the right activity. And if we are talking about time management techniques, there are a lot of them, but we will look at 4 today. So these are the tools and rules to follow to organize your time most effectively. Can you answer the question? Are you good at managing your time effectively? If you are good, type yes in chat. If you are no, type no. And also why? For example, I think that yes, I'm good at managing my time effectively because I know some techniques and how to use it. It really helps me to save time and also get the benefit of the work that I do. So let's look for your comments and what you have here. I will read all of them, maybe a little bit later, and we will discuss it. And also, tell me, what are your personal secrets of good time management? What do you do? How can you save your time? How can you meet all the deadlines, pass your work? So, in chat, you need to answer 2 questions. First, yes or no, are you good at managing your time effectively? And why? And what are your personal secrets of good time management? Just in some words. While you are doing it, we will move forward and look at the first time management technique. This technique is called Eat That Frog. So, do the most unpleasant or complicated task first. So it means that if you don't want to do the task that you don't like, you should start with it. Because when you do it first, the rest will be easy for you. And in such way, you can complete all the tasks that you need. So, what do you think about this technique? Have you ever heard about it? Have you ever used it? So, if yes, type yes. If no, type no. And tell me, please, does it work for you personally? For example, if you choose when you come from home to do your home task first, but not just playing computer games. Does it help you or no? So I can see your comments here that yes, you're good at it. You should think about future, not about present only. Yeah, well done. And there is also one more technique. It is called task batching. So what is that? Have you heard about it earlier? So task batching means to find more activities you can stack, write down all your general activities for the day and week, and identify the ones that you can be batched together. So when we say batch, it means connect, match with each other, and you can batch them several times to rearrange if necessary. For example, you have your home task just to read 3 texts and to watch a video. So these 3 texts you can bunch together, and it means the same kind of activity. If we're talking about cleaning the house, we can have in this list wash the dishes, swab the floor, and maybe cook something. So these are activities that relate to one area, while studying or learning relates to another area. You need to batch something similar. To do it better, you could rearrange, so change the order, what activity you will be doing, the first one, the second, the third, and the rest, and which group of these activities you would try. Usually, if we are working in group, so it's better to give the same tasks to the whole group because you act quickly. Yeah, it's easier to discuss the same thing, to learn more about one thing at one time. So, what do you think about these management techniques? Have you ever used it? And does it work for you personally? I'm waiting for your answers in chat. Good. So now we will move to the next one. It's called Pomodoro technique. It's quite widespread technique. So a lot of people heard about it and used it. Do you have any idea what it is? So can you look at the picture? So there are some numbers, yes, 35, 30, 25, 20. What does it mean? Is it time? Yes. And let's look closer. What for do we need this time? So first of all, we should decide on the task to be done. So what activity will we do? After that, we need to set the Pomodoro timer. So it doesn't mean that you need to buy this Pomodoro and use only it. You can use your mobile phone, clock, watches, whatever it's possible. Just something that shows you the time. And traditionally, we set it up to 25 minutes. But you know that some activities might be easier, others might be more difficult, more complicated. So if you need to spend, for example, 5 minutes for this activity, but you don't have a desire, you think that it takes so much time, you just set the timer at 5 minutes, and then you work during this 5 minutes on the task. You're focusing on it without being distracted. So this is really difficult because we are usually distracted by different things. Maybe some parents come at your home, ask you something, your friends sending messages in chat. So it might be difficult. But if you have the message, you just need to concentrate on the task, not answer something, and do not change the activity to another one. And you can stop doing this activity only when the timer rings. So after this period of time, you might be free. And it also Do you think obligatory or not obligatory? Do you need to take a break? For example, you spend 5 minutes, you are not tired. Do you need a break or you can continue working? So if you need a break, please send me plus. If you can continue working, send me minus. Okay, good. So if you think that you don't need a break, you might be wrong, because no matter either you are really tired or not, it's better to have a rest, to change the activity, maybe to answer some urgent messages and do whatever you want. But should this break be long? No, it shouldn't. It might be small, up to 3-5 minutes. After that, you move on the next task. And when you have this 4 Pomodoro session, you need to take longer break from 15 to 30 minutes. So tell me, please, have you used this technique and does it work for you? Because for me, I've tried it recently and I understand that it's not always a good idea. So no matter what I do, I'm distracted with all the things. I just try to multitask and it doesn't work. So what about you? Does it work? So when I prepare for the lessons, for example, I know that I need to spend some time without multitasking. In such case, I can set the timer and it really helps me because I have just limits, no more than 20 minutes I should spend, no more than 30. And in such way, it's easier to meet the deadline. So as I've mentioned about multitasking, let's look closer at this technique. So what do you think, multitasking, is it a good idea or no? Is it good? Send plus, if no, minus. Because here we can see different opinions. So we can multitask wisely, when we know how to do, and we can just spread our time doing nothing. Let's look closer at this technique. Multitasking is normally considered less efficient than a single tasking because the brain needs time to adjust when navigating different tasks. What is adjust? Do you have any idea what this word means? So adjust means to understand, to use what you are saying, what you are using, and you need to adaptate to it. When you navigate different tasks, you just choose what to do, you manage your time, and you complete one task after another one. Also known as task switching. So we can start with one, then switch to another task. And this switching makes us tired and unproductive. And not the task themselves, because tasks might be easy. But when you answer somewhere in chat, and in another you speak, and then you maybe write something, you try to read, at the same time, it's difficult to do. And when you start one thing and haven't finished, you can't see the result. So you did 5 tasks, but you haven't finished any of them. So you are tired because you worked hard, but no result in it. In such case, multitasking is a bad idea, as you've mentioned in chat. A lot of you put minuses here. But if we're talking about wise strategy of multitasking, we can use any buffer time you have for good. What is buffer time? So, for example, when you are riding a bike, can you listen to music? So are you tired of doing 2 tasks simultaneously? I think no, it's just pleasant, both of these activities. The same while you drive a car, you can also listen to some webinars. Yeah, it's also possible. Listen to audiobooks. While you wash the dishes, you can watch a film. So it doesn't interrupt one and another activity. Here, as example, you can listen to the audiobook while cleaning the house, answer emails while eating, or having meetings over lunch. So usually when we eat, we can scroll Instagram, or do some other activities. So it just entertains us, but not makes us tired. So write down in chat either you've used this technique and does it work for you. I mean only wise multitasking. So yes, possible. Good. Some of you don't use it. Okay, now I'll share one more. It's prioritizing task of Eisenhower box. So this is Eisenhower method. Have you heard about it? So I think you did, even if you don't know the title. First of all, let's find out some more information about the Eisenhower method. This Eisenhower matrix is one of the best time management techniques, and it is developed by David Eisenhower. He was the 34th president of the US and a military officer. He analyzed the organization of the time and came to the conclusion that important things on his to-do list are rarely urgent. So urgent means the things that you need to do fast without waiting for something. And on his to-do list are rarely truly important, some things that are really urgent. So by saying this, I mean that just 2 days ago, I've got a call from my mom, and she asked me to find the phone number of some hairdresser. And I didn't remember where I put it. And she called to him or her recently, and she had this number in her mobile phone. So there was no need to call me for me to find it, but she did. And I promised her that, yeah, I will look for it, but in fact, I didn't. So I just continue laying in bed, doing some things that I was interested in. And in 2 minutes, my mom called me back and said, oh, no need to do it. I found it myself. And I say, okay. So I even haven't started to do it when this problem just was solved on its own. So this means an urgent thing, the thing that I should have done fast, but I didn't. And at the end, it wasn't important. So this is what the Eisenhower method is. The apparent importance of some urgent things to do happened because we simply didn't plan to carry out it earlier, and thus it turning it into urgent. So now let's look closer at this table, how it works. What can you see here? How many boxes are there? Yeah, sure. There are 4 boxes. And in order to quickly determine the importance and urgency of current task, Eisenhower proposed a simple matrix with 2 characteristics. So the first characteristic is urgent and not urgent, as you can see here. And second, it's important and not important. The first thing you have to learn is to correctly prioritize your task. So as you see, this matrix is divided into 4 quadrants, where there are 2 axes of importance and 2 axes of urgency. Certain tasks, we can say, fit into each of them, which helps to visually see the priority of each component. So what to do first, what to do next. So, and this is very important to understand what you should spend the most of your time on. We will start with the quadrant 1 for sure. These are the tasks that are urgent and important. So tasks we can do fast, and it's really important for us. If we are talking about perfect time management, it means that this quadrant will be empty. So it might be a surprise, but when you just put some task into this quadrant, you are really nervous, you are in stress, and it's difficult to do the task very fast if this task is important. So this is due to the fact that with the proper prioritization and timely execution of tasks, there will be simple no things left for this quadrant. So when we do task number 4, 3, 2, these quadrants, we won't have this stage of the quadrant number 1. This can be only the normal for time to time, but the context house in what you have to do is a sign of disorganization. It's important to have a few tasks in this quadrant as possible, because if something important becomes urgent, you start panicking, and thinking about time instead of thinking how well you perform the task. So this happens during the tests usually, either at the end of the term, in the middle, it doesn't matter, at school, at the academy, wherever you are. Because when you have a limit of time, let it be 1 hour, and you have a lot of tasks, so you think that there isn't enough time to complete all the tasks, and you know that the test for you is important because you want to get a good mark. So this would be the task important and urgent, and you will put it in number 1. The only task that can be here, these are serious tasks, and they might happen in emergencies. So the tasks that you can't avoid, prevent, or even forecast. Now we will move to the second quadrant, and this is important task as well, but these tasks are not urgent, so you can do it at any time. The highest priority tasks are located here. So this is mainly the quadrant you will work first with. It's necessary to pay maximum attention to the task from this quadrant. Experts say that people who work specifically with quadrant 2 achieve greater success in life and achieve their goals. They earn more money and do what they love and enjoy. Since there is no urgency here, there is no panic. For example, I think that it's easier for you when you have no limitation with the test. For example, there are 2 days, 4 days, you can start at any time and finish at any time. You have the opportunity to look for some notes, to think about it properly, and complete the task really well, as it is important for you, but not urgent. Apart from this, since there is no urgency, the quality of the task performance is quite high. And this is, in turn, contributes to high efficiency and productivity. However, one shouldn't forget that the late execution of tasks from quadrant 2 moves down to quadrant 1. For example, you had 5 days to do the test, but you just recollect about it on the 5th day, and there is only 1 hour left before the deadline. So sure, it would be quadrant 1 again. You will be nervous and stressed. So there is no need to move these activities from quadrant 2 to quadrant 1. Now let's look at the third one. These are urgent but not important. All the tasks here are usually a distraction. So something that prevents you from doing the task from quadrant 2. They don't play any important role in terms of achieving goals and do not lead to any results. Often, they only interfere with focusing on truly important tasks, and reduce overall effectiveness, so make you less effective. When working with the matrix that is shown here, the main thing is not to confuse the task from quadrant 1 and quadrant 3, because you understand that here important and not important things, it's usually a huge distraction for us. And there might be the confusion in the priority. What should you start with? Quadrant 3 can include the tasks connected with different spontaneous meetings and events. For example, your friend called you and asked for a walk. So this is a pleasant thing you like and you want to go. And when you don't have some important things, you can do it because it's urgent. He called now and he or she wants to have a walk with you now, not later. So it's also urgent. And it relates to quadrant number 3. Since things from this quadrant only slow you down, the steal of time try to devote the minimum of your time. So only if you understand that you really want it, you can go. If not, you should understand that it's steal your time and it's not productive. And finally, the last quadrant here, quadrant number 4. This is not urgent and not important. You might think, okay, what for do we need it if it's not urgent and not important? There is absolutely no benefit from this task, and even if you don't do them at all, it will be only better. So the same as was with the call from my mom. I haven't done it and nothing happens. The problem solved on its own. But the most interesting thing is that this quadrant attracts people more. So we want to do the tasks from this quadrant most of all. These things are about relaxing, are about pleasure, something we like. And that makes it difficult to reject them, not to do them. This quadrant includes phone talks with friends, relatives. It might be social networks, surfing the internet, computer games, watching TV, or even going parties. So, to understand what is urgent, what is not, and how to use this strategy and technique, we have such questions. To determine how important each task is, ask a question for each task. So the first question is this task necessary to achieve my big goal? And there are two answers. Yes, if the answer is yes, it's important. No, it's not important. For example, here it's not necessary. We have answer no. Okay, not important. We have second question. If I don't do it, it will have any serious negative consequences for me. And here you can answer yes, it would. So here it's important. What should we do if for one question there is yes, and for another one it's no? So how should we treat it? As important or not important? If it's important, please send plus. If it's not important, send minus. So what do you think? If we have two questions, and for one of these questions the answer is yes, for another question the answer is no. If it's important, plus. If it's not important, minus. Okay, I'm waiting for you in chat. Good, yeah. So really, if at least one answer is yes, the task is treated as important, no matter either the second is no. And there is one more question. To determine how urgent the task is, we should ask this question. If the task is complicated now, will it be still relevant in some time? So if we answer yes, it's completed and it's relevant, it's not urgent. If we answer no, it's urgent. So let's move forward. Here we can sum up all this table. So important and urgent in the quadrant 1, we have crying baby, because it's disturbed, we should add quickly for baby not to cry. Kitchen fire, we want our house to stay still, so we need to act quickly and push off the fire. And some calls, if it's your boss or maybe mother or someone else, they might be urgent and important. For second quadrant, not urgent and important, here we can see exercises. So you can do it at any time, in the morning, in the evening, it doesn't matter. But it's important for our health. Vacation, the same. You can choose when you would like to go and where. The same as planning. You can plan at any time when you are free and reluctant, when you want to do it. If we are talking about not important and urgent things, it's interruption. When our relatives want something for us, or maybe people who pass by you, doesn't matter what it is, but all the things that disturb you. The same as distractions. Sometimes calls which are not necessary also might be here. And in number 4, we have trivia. So this means that it's just simple things that happen in our life, nothing special, but you may do it. Also busy work and time wasters. Time wasters, it's all the things that you do when you don't want to do the real tasks that you need to pass. For example, before preparing the lesson, I decided to wash the dishes, to clean the floor. So this is a good idea, but in fact, I shouldn't do these activities. I should concentrate it on the task, on the lesson and presentation only. That is why it's not important and not urgent. Now we will practice a little bit, and I want you to send me any things, any activities that you are planning to do during next week. So it may be going to the swimming pool, cleaning, cooking, whatever it is. So one activity from each of you in chat. And then we will try to decide where can we put these activities. Definitely for each of you, it might be different. So for one person going to the swimming pool, it's not important and urgent. And for another person who has a competition, it's important to practice more. Or if we're talking about computer games, So for some people, it's not urgent and not important because there is no benefit in it. You just entertain. But if you, an author of the article or someone else whose work connected with these games, it definitely then you can play this game and then after it write a report, earn money for it, and the same. So you get pleasure from playing, and also it was urgent and important because it's your work. So what activities do you have? Let's look at the quadrant here. Yes. And we will use Eisenhower box, distribute all the things that we have in this quadrant. So you will do it for yourself, and I'll just try to guess. Might it be urgent, important, not urgent, not important, according to you. But if I will be wrong, just don't be dissatisfied with it. Go to my grandparents, for example. I think that it's important, but it might be not urgent. If they haven't called you, so you can go at any time when you want. Tidy my flat. So it might be also important and not urgent. And if your mother told you to do it 3 times per day, it might be called into important and urgent. Go to the park. So if you just want to entertaining, it might be not important but urgent if your friends ask you to do it, and if you just decide to do on your own at any time, not important, not urgent. Do sport, is usually important, it might be not urgent. You have cooking, walking, visiting grandma, meeting with niece, quite a lot of activities. Well done. And now, when you've understand how it works, we will move to the next point. It's procrastination. Have you heard this word? And do you know the meaning? If you heard, send yes. If you haven't heard, no. Okay. So here is the example, procrastination. I will find the picture for it later. So this is a great illustration what the procrastination is. So it doesn't mean that I'm lazy. I didn't want to prepare the presentation for you properly. It's just an example. So when you don't want to do it now, you can do it at any time later. I will do it. But in fact, you rarely do it when you haven't started it at the beginning, if there is no urgency in it. So procrastination is avoiding tasks that need to be done. Avoiding means do anything else, but not the task that is necessary. And the practice of doing more pleasurable thing in place of less pleasurable. So how often do you procrastinate? Is this feeling quite known for you? I think all of us sometimes procrastinate because we don't want to do a lot of things that are unpleasurable, but we have no choice. And when we do some small things that are easy, we get instant gratification. Gratification means satisfaction. So when you feel pleasurable, when you like that you've done, and this is a good feeling, it helps us to work more productive and do more tasks. So this is a way to fight with the procrastination. And apart from this, I want you to answer some questions. What do you most often procrastinate on and why? And what is your favorite way of procrastinating? As for me, I most often procrastinate on maybe doing the tasks that I should, preparing for the test, for the exams, and sometimes cleaning the house. But my favorite way of procrastinating is to call friends, to send the message before preparing this presentation. I've answered all the messages that I had in Telegram and discussed with my friends whatever I wanted. So please type, what is your favorite way of procrastinating? What do you do? And after that, answer the second question. What are 3 most important things in your personal experience to overcome procrastination and start doing something? So that is, how do you fight with the procrastination? Do you remember what was the tool, how to fight with the procrastination in the previous slide? Yeah, it was mentioned about great satisfaction when you've done one and you have the enthusiasm. You want to do more because you success in one thing and it seems easy for you. So your task in short, answer 2 questions. What do you most often procrastinate on this thing? And what is your favorite way of doing it? and mention 3 important things to overcome procrastination, how to start doing what you really should to do. For example, clean your room, do your homework. Yeah, with homework, it's really hard. What can we do with it? Maybe to work together, yeah, to cooperate with your friends and do homework in a funny way when you're not alone. But for some people, it doesn't work because you need to concentrate and someone might be faster, as not. So with cleaning room, what technique can you use? You can either set a Pomodoro, yeah, 5 minutes, 25 minutes to clean the room, or you can multitask, listening to music, watching whatever you want. Yeah, good. You're really good at finding out how to fight the procrastination. Now let's move to the next thing. I've introduced you one of the most effective ways of fight procrastination. This is the Gonzig effect. So, the Gonzig effect suggests that not finishing a task creates mental tension, which keeps it at the forefront of our memory. What is mental tension? Do you have any ideas? So, for example, when you always think about the things that you haven't done, you're worried about it, you know that you should do, and this is unpleasant feeling. This is the tension. And it keeps in our memory, so each time you can think about it, yeah? When you concentrate on one task and you know that you're doing the wrong task, not what you really should do. And the only thing that will relieve this tension to make it lower, not to worry so much, is closure brought by the completion of the task. So closure, close the door. We have a barrier. We can't go through it when the door is closed. And the same closure in our mind, we imagine that we close the door. We don't have any contact with these thoughts, with these ideas. There is a closure between our thoughts and the real task, what we need. Everything genius is simple. The phenomenon proposes that making a start on something, no matter how big or small, keep it tweaking away at the back of your mind until you reach the end. So, no matter what you need to do, just get it started and your brain will not let you procrastinate anymore. So, by saying this, it means that when you start doing the thing you don't like, you can spend 5 minutes. You understand that it's easy, it's interesting for you. It was difficult to begin, but as a result, you're just in this process. You want to continue to do more and more. And it means that until you finish this task, you won't feel this greatness, this satisfaction. And it's impossible to procrastinate when you like what you're doing, when you're really interested in this process. So, take me please, have you heard about Zeigarnik effect? So, what are your ideas? Is it a good way of stop procrastination? Or maybe you have your own ideas? So you've mentioned that you might have an award, yeah, when something is done. By the way, if we're talking about award, we have a surprise for you. It would be a present for active participation. When you will do all your home task projects, answer the question actively, I will tell you more on the next lesson what present we will prepare for you, and you have all the chances, this golden opportunity to win it. So be active and participate during the webinar. And also, if you have any questions about these 4 techniques, type me in chat and I will answer all of them if it's possible. While you're sending the questions and answers, we will make a conclusion what we've done today. So we've led in discussion. We've learned what is a time management, and what are the time management techniques. Can you type how many time management techniques you've learned? So just number 2, 4, 5, 6, how many? Yeah, sure. There were 4 time management techniques. Do you remember the first one? The first one called Eat the Frog. So do the unpleasant task first. What was the second? Task batching. Batching, it's mixing together, matching all these things in one activity that is similar. After that, we've discussed Pomodoro technique. So setting the time and finishing everything until this moment. And sure, we were talking about multitasking. This is number 4 technique, as you've all mentioned correctly in chat. Good. And we've decided that multitasking can be both good and bad, and it would be quite productive if you use it widely. Here we are talking about the prioritizing task. We've discussed Eisenhower box. So this box really helps us, but would you do it each time, or you can just keep in your mind what to do, knowing how it works in general? So if you would draw this box each time, send me plus. If you just keep it in mind and you can do it without thinking for a lot period of time, send minus. It also develops your skills and logic, how you can organize it, time management. And procrastination. So there are some ways how to fight with the procrastination, and you've mentioned them in chat. So I haven't got any questions from you. Yeah, no question. Okay. If you just in case have some questions, you always can send them in messages on the platform and I'll answer them. Now we will move forward, and there is a thing to remember. Stop saying I don't have time, and very soon you will realize that you have time for almost everything you see fit to do in life. So what do you think about this quotation? The author writ Will Smith. And how often do you say I don't have time? Do you say it only when you really don't have time, or when you don't want to do some activities? Because when someone asks me to do the things I don't like, I can say, oh, sorry, I don't have time, maybe next time. And sometimes I say, okay, I want to pass, for example, Cambridge exam, I want to get a certificate, I want to learn any other language, just German, French, but I don't have time for it. Is it true that we don't have time for things that we really want? I think no, because if we prioritize all the activities properly, we can do even more than we expect from ourselves. So, would you like to learn new languages, or what is the activity that you never have time for, or you have never had before this lesson? Is there anything you would like to do? could you send me these activities? You can think about it. So what is it? As for me, I think that before it, I've never had time to study French, but I have plans to do it this summer because it's a long period and we can try new things. Maybe it's a new kind of sport. What sport might it be? So is it table tennis? Is it combat fighting? Is there something that you would like? Maybe extreme kind of sport. What are your dreams? Oh, if I really haven't time. So actually, I can understand you when you say I don't have time for it. Because some people can just do nothing and think that they don't have time, while others studying in the morning, visiting some courses, learning new things, taking part in competitions, and your timetable is really full stuff. So in such kind, you can say that I don't have time. But in fact, you should understand that how many time you spend on it, that these 24 hours you really spend productively. And even if you don't have time for something new, you can start with a small thing, with 2 minutes, with 5 minutes. And when you really like it, you will spend more and more. So go to the art school. I would like to learn economy, start doing hot training. And what prevents you? Only the time, or you are afraid that you will fail, you don't know where this school is? What is the problem? Why can't you do it? Is it about time only, or there are some other problems that prevent you from doing it? For example, if we want to learn a subject like economy, where can we do it? So, for example, you can learn both English and economy, combine, and you don't need to spend time separately for one subject than for another one. It's a good save of time. So, if we are talking about theater studio, art school, maybe you can spend only one day, have only one lesson in a week, and you will have an opportunity to do what you like, and also not to spend so much time in general during the week. I really like all your comments here. Thank you for active participation. Also, don't forget that you have 2 lessons on the platform. They will be each Monday and Tuesday, new lessons, and you can do them at any time. So you don't need to wait while I check them. I've got some home tasks from you. And again, if there are any questions, please contact me. As for today's webinar, that is all. And please take your time and practice time management. And we will see each other next Thursday at 11:30. Thank you. Enjoy your summertime and see you next Thursday. Bye.